Hey, everybody. Let me get that off. Always seem to do that. Get that nice little echo in my ear. Anyway, this is Carl. This is Carl's Opinion. Just want to say hello and welcome to our Saturday night live call-in show. And let's get this. There we go. And let's see. What do we got going on here today? We got a lot of news to get to, and we're going to get to it pretty quick here. I just want to thank everybody who's in the chat room, and thanks to the great douchebag, and to Zeno, bless you, and everybody else who's watching, and to all those who'll be watching later. I'll be uploading this to YouTube after we get done with the live stream. So, lots of news again. So let's kind of get to it here. There's the call-in number 775-273-8970. If you want to appear on a live video vMix call-in, you can do that as well. And hold on a sec. Let me just check something. Yeah, just double checking the audio. I didn't feel so bad because it seemed like a lot of people have been having problems with their audio lately. So it's like, oh, it's not just me. So it's like, just want to double check to make sure I'm not just sitting here moving my mouth and nobody's hearing a word coming out of it. So anyway, so live call-in number 775-273-8970. And the vMix video call-in live video screen is, you can send me an email to ca2jogger@gmail.com. Put in the chat, you're sending me the email, and that way I can make it a point to open the email up, and I'll send you a link. It's really simple. I send you a link, you write in your username, and you hit join call. You'll see a little box, either on your phone or your desktop, laptop, etc. As long as you have Google or Firefox, you can access it. That's not a problem. And then next thing you know, you'll see a box with me, and then I'll put you on the screen, and we'll be good to go. Pretty much it'll look just like this. Well, let's see. I'll show you in a second. There you go. It'll look like that. And I'll be here to your left, and you'll be in the right. So if you want to do that, that's fine. And I always enjoy doing that myself. I do that on Anthony Bryan Logan show, and I was obviously on Mr. Jackson's show on interview, and I always enjoy the video. I think it makes it more personal for the host, the guest, and also for the people watching. Kind of lets everybody put a face to your words, which is always kind of nice. So, again, let's go get to the news, and we got a lot of it. So, starting with, let's go and cut over here. And I'm going to take the call-in number down right here, but it's in the description below. And that way we can see more of the picture here. And let's see. So, we'll go ahead and take a look at this story right here. So Trump offers immigration compromise to the Democrats for the wall funding and bid to end the shutdown. This is from the Washington Times, and the good newspaper. I'm a subscriber to it online. It's just a fair, right down the middle newspaper. The editorial section, of course, they have their own opinions, but as far as you want real news, real time, this is really it. But anyway, so basically what happened today, he had a big announcement. He said, look, I'm going to pretty much offer the same deal I offered a year ago. And the deal he offered a year ago was, look, and the Democrats are willing to go for it. He was going to let DACA recipients get legalization. He was also going to, I think, add a couple other million people that could have a pathway to citizenship. And the Democrats were actually going to give him like $25 billion for the wall at the time. And then he had that S-hole comment, and for some reason the Democrats, instead of just saying, okay, that's nice, but, we're here to get something done, and, they say they care about these, legal immigrants so much. Well, they had a chance to get something done last year. But, they wanted to jump on the S-hole comment and, the shithole comment, and, people come from shithole countries and stuff. And they figured, oh, let's just jump on that and make some political hay out of it. And plus, the whole, Mueller investigation was just starting up, and I think he had just been appointed by Rosenstein to that job. So, of course, they just wanted to, kick a man while he's down instead of trying to get something done, which is a real shame. And yeah, Mr. Great Douchebag, what's up? Looking forward to a great show. Me too. I'm looking forward to a great show. Also, we'll find out how it turns out. But it should be pretty good because the news is kind of going to drive it here tonight. And then if you look down at the article down below here, President Trump offered Democrats a deal to end the 29-day-old government shutdown Saturday by extending protections for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants in return for $5.7 billion in border wall funding. And like he said, he's here today to break the logjam and provide Congress with a path forward to end the government shutdown and solve the crisis on our southern border. I haven't seen all the news, but I'm sure the Democrats just jumped on it. I saw some of the stories where they were saying, here we go, top Democrats quickly rejected the offer, saying the president must agree to reopen the government before they'll negotiate. No, 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 and no. Once he does that, they'll never negotiate anything. It's game over. Thank God he's not stupid, because he'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll reopen the government, and we're going to talk about this later. Like BS. They're not going to talk about anything later. Reopen that government and signs that continuing spending resolution. There's no way. He'll have to wait till the next time there's a crisis, and then they'll have to do it all over again, and it's going to cost him all kinds of problems. So, I think he's good for standing his ground. And let's see, Senate Assistant Democratic Leader Richard Durbin, Illinois. McConnell must open the government today. Second, I cannot support the proposed offer as reported. Do not believe it can pass the Senate. Third, I am ready to sit down anytime the government is opened. Well, you know what? Whatever. It's funny. He's still getting his paycheck. I guess he could donate that. I guess all the senators on Democrats can all donate their paycheck to these poor federal workers, and then, at least that might help a few people. But, obviously they're not doing that. There's 535 members. I think they all make, what, $170,000 a year? Yeah, it's a pretty good chunk of change. I haven't done the math, but I'm sure it's a big number. So, anyway, then we'll move on to the next story here. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see. Pelosi's control led by radical lefts in border dispute over shutdown, Trump says. Basically, Trump is saying, hey, look, her hands are tied because she's she's being led around by the nose by the left, which is true. She is. For some reason, these leaders in Congress are all afraid of the Ocasio-Cortezes and the new congresswomen coming in, the Muslims and all that, wearing the hijabs and everything. They're all afraid of them. For some reason, I don't know why. They shouldn't be. I mean, let's be honest. Pelosi controls the purse strings in the House and controls the committee seat assignments. I mean, she has a lot of power. It's time she starts using it. And, the only reason why she's saying she's opposed to this wall is because she's afraid she can get a challenge from the left. She's afraid a lot of the Congress people who vote in favor of that are going to get it, because, Ocasio-Cortez would never vote in favor of it, and neither would her few friends. And then they would go out, fundraise, and primary the people who did vote in favor of it as well. I mean, you even saw Whoopi Goldberg coming out and saying, hey, Ocasio, why don't you, learn for a few minutes? And primarily she was coming out and saying that because she was upset that, she was trying to primary challenge Hakeem Jeffries, which is a congressperson in New York City. And, God, he's as liberal as it gets. I mean, there's no reason to challenge that guy. I mean, if I was a liberal, I'd like the guy. Okay, I'd be like, hey, that's my congressman. Okay, but she says he wasn't liberal or actually left enough. He's not a socialist. So if you're not a socialist, you don't cut it for Ocasio-Cortez. Well, screw her. I'm glad nobody else cuts it. All right, let's see what Mr. Douchebag says here. Mr. Great Douchebag, I apologize. Carl, do you think the Democrats will work with Trump? Do you think they'll come up with a counteroffer of 3.8 or half? I don't think they'll come up with it. It's either going to be all or nothing. He's either going to get the 5.7 or nothing. I don't think they're going to play games with giving him any money for anything on that border wall issue. I think what he's doing right now is, one, I think he's actually hoping they will take the deal. I think he's hoping Senate Democrats will say, you know what, we got to do this. I think that's what he's hoping for, and maybe that'll push some people on the other side to move forward. But I think at the end of the day, I think he is setting it up for a declaration of a national emergency. I mean, at some point, when he offers everything, they could possibly want in exchange for just putting a wall up, a fence, whatever, at some point they're going to have to say, he'll be able to say, hey, look, I had to do this because, look, I offered this. They said no. I offered this. They said no. I offered this. They said no. And then the American people get to decide who's being unreasonable or not. And I think he'd win. I think he'd win on that argument, depending on, what they, I mean, not to mention the people, the DACA recipients, those 800,000 or whatever the number is, a million, they have a lot of support. And so they're going to be saying, hey, look, give them the damn wall. I get to be legal. I don't have to worry about being deported. I can get all the benefits of being a U.S. citizen. Shit, give him the freaking fencing. I don't care. Just do it. So, and I think if he actually, it's funny. I think if he offers more people a pathway to citizenship or legal citizenship status, right now they're saying, oh, we're not going to do a quid pro quo. We're not going to exchange people for walls. Well, let me tell you, that number gets high enough. Like, say it's like 5 million. Okay, say it's that. I mean, that's a high number, but say it's 2 million or 3 million. Well, there's 3 million people out there going to be saying, hey, yeah, I'm not going to stand on my principles so much. Just get this damn thing done and get my, legal status. You know, so, and some people on the right said he was caving in. I don't think he was caving in because this was the same deal they were doing last year. Look, Trump doesn't have a problem with as long as they go through the legal process. We got a bunch of people out there right now who are not in the legal process, who are criminals or whatever. I mean, those people obviously aren't getting a pathway. I mean, if you have a criminal conviction, I'm sorry, that's going to exclude you. Depending on what the conviction's for. If it's like a DUI misdemeanor kind of thing, probably not. Probably not. But if it's any kind of a felony or domestic battery, that could get you excluded. If you get even that's a misdemeanor in most states, that'll get you excluded. Now, if it's a felony and there's a felony domestic battery, like say a domestic battery by strangulation or something to that effect, a lot of states distinguish that now because strangulation is a felony, and so you can DOMBAT by strangulation. So if you get like a domestic battery, strangulation, domestic battery, that might exclude you. It might not. It was just a misdemeanor. DUI probably would not exclude you with a DUI as long as nobody was killed. As long as it's not like a DUI with substantial bodily injury or a DUI with death, obviously, then you screw it. You're never gonna make it. So, but so I mean, if he gets that number high enough, then let's be honest. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on the Democrats to say, and then that'll give them some cover. They'll say, look, we don't like the wall, we don't like the idea of a wall, but there's 2 million people that get to be legal tomorrow, or after they go through the process. And it'll probably be an expedited process. I mean, especially if people have been here for like 10 years, because then you can do a thorough background check on them. You can see where they worked. You can see, a lot of them probably in school. You can see, what their criminal record is like. You can do all that, and so it shouldn't be hard to vet these people. They've been here for several years. I mean, they just provide all the addresses of employers and people they work for and everything like that. They've had for the last 10, 15, whatever years. And it shouldn't be hard to vet these people at all. And knowing if they had a criminal record, fake name or no fake name, if you have a felony conviction, you have to submit to DNA test. Minimum, when you get booked on anything, is fingerprints have to be taken. They're all digital now, so everything gets, over, Wi-Fi, over the, speed of light, to anybody who wants to see it. So, but I agree with Trump's analysis on that she is being controlled by the left because she's afraid, not just so much for herself, but for her members, if they vote in favor of anything Trump puts up on this, that the Ocasio-Cortez wing and her whack jobs and, the other people, the big money behind them, will primary the people who vote in favor of this. So let's see what the next story is. What do we got coming up here? This. I know a lot of people cover this story. I liked it myself because I had to endure some of this yesterday. I got stuck watching MSNBC, and I had to watch some of MSNBC people, frothing at the mouth, drooling at the mouth, going ballistic, thinking that we got him now, Now this is impeachment. He's suborned perjury. He made somebody perjure themselves. He told somebody to lie to Congress, and this BuzzFeed story, and they're all running around. Nobody's fact checking it. Nobody's checking the sources. Nobody's doing any looking behind anything. And I'll tell you why. Because even if it turns out to be false, they don't care. The story's out there. Although this one, I think, got a lot of egg on their face because I think they weren't. The media wasn't expecting that if it was false, that Mueller's team himself would issue the statement. They figured it'd be somebody else. They could always discredit somebody from Justice Department. He's just a Trump hack saying it's not true, or Lanny Davis, maybe Cohen's attorney, and that would be like, well, yeah, but he's just saying to protect his client, that kind of stuff. But it came directly from Mueller's team. And here's the story. Kind of go through this a little bit. This happened last night. A spokesman for special counsel Robert Mueller late Friday denied a BuzzFeed report alleging President Trump ordered Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. It is a rare public statement by Mueller's team, which almost never comments on media reports, and that's the important part. But they knew how dangerous this was. They knew that if this wasn't true, Up. First live call in. Let's see who we got here. Hold on. Caller, you're on the phone. Area code 217. Can I help you?
Life is like a nigga.
Well, whoever area code 217 is, thanks for your phone number. I'll be sure to call you back later and tell you and bother you. Yeah, so thanks for the phone call there. Area code 217. Oh, maybe I should just read the number out loud to everybody. So then everybody can have your phone number and then everybody can call you and bother you. Well, I'll just call you later. Not a problem. And thank you for calling into my show. But anyway, so yeah, I don't take any block calls. That's the reason. So if somebody wants to call and act an idiot, then so be it. But hey, at least hey, people are watching. No problem. So that means something. But I guess they don't like. I guess they're like part of the Trump derangement syndrome people. Yeah, I run into a lot of that. But anyway, let's get back to the story. So it is a rare public statement by Mueller's team, which almost never comments on media reports. And again, that's important because, again, Mueller knew that this was so important that they were talking impeachment, that especially with the Democratic House, before with the, and probably this is why they usually never commented on media reports. They knew with with a Republican-controlled House and a Republican-controlled Senate, they knew even though a phony story was out there, Paul Ryan wasn't going to start any impeachment process or take an impeachment vote on the floor of the House of Representatives. But with the Democrats in charge of the House of Representatives, this story sat out there. I mean, they could have been bringing a bill to the floor by Monday. Tuesday rather, after the holiday. So he had to kill this story quick and let everybody know the truth. Like, no, man, this is wrong because goddamn, Pelosi may just call for it and a vote on the floor for impeachment to go forward. So that's why I think Mueller, who hasn't commented, this team that hasn't commented in the past on media reports, definitely had to come out this time because it was too dangerous. If he knows this isn't true, and obviously he does, because why is he going to jeopardize his own credibility? Uh, you know, then he had to stop this story quick. And my guess is, if any other phony stories come up with the democratically controlled House, he's going to have to do the same thing. So there you go. So anyway, so BuzzFeed, yeah, wonderful BuzzFeed, the people who broke the phony dossier thing. Yes, nobody vetted that either. Nobody checked the sources. Nobody looked back. Oh, we got another call. Let's see who we got. Area code 803, you're on with Carl's Opinion. This is Carl. Go ahead. Another person with another phone number. This person must have lots of phone numbers. So area code 803. I am being trolled. Officially being trolled. But anyway, hey, that must mean I'm, if you're making enemies, then I guess, people don't like the truth. So the truth is out there. We are getting the truth out there. We shall not be silenced. The truth will set you free. So to all you leftists out there, remember, I'm Carl, and this is Carl's Opinion. And we are looking right at you. Da-da-da! Carl's Opinion. Hey, but anyway, back to this story. BuzzFeed subscription of specific statements to special counsel's office and characterization of documents and testimony obtained by this office regarding Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate, said Peter Carr, a spokesman for Mr. Mueller. Well, that's a pretty big slam. I mean, that's nice language for slamming the shit out of somebody. So basically, the spokesman for Mr. Mueller, for Robert Mueller, I mean, you got to remember something. Instead of saying, they can't just come out and say, a BuzzFeed story is full of shit, so they have to say it in somewhat a nice way, but this is as tough a refutation of a statement that you're going to get, and that's about as good as it is right there. Great to Carl, I got your back with the trolls. They have an IQ level of blaming superglue for getting stuck in traffic. They also have an IQ level of going to Disney World with a mousetrap. Yeah, well, the trolls are very limited on my site on what they can post on as far as comments. Thanks to YouTube, I used to be a moderator for a site that caught a lot of nasty shit. And hold on. Speaking of trolls, let's see if this is a troll. Area code 904. You're on with Carl's Opinion. Go ahead. One more troll bites the dust. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Oh, this is too funny. But anyway, let's see what else we got going on here. So anyway, so that was a pretty great story because again, they media were all jumping up and down about this, and it was actually pretty hilarious. So hold on a sec. But but yeah, that was actually a pretty good story there because again, I mean, if you saw any of the coverage yesterday from the mainstream media, they were all over this, and everybody was jumping up and down about this story. They just couldn't believe it. It was like, oh, we got him now. So burning perjury, that's a felony. That's definitely a high crime and a misdemeanor. The House is going to start impeachment, and they're going to peel off enough, I guess 20 Republicans who will have to vote in favor of it, regardless of how they feel about Donald Trump. The thing that pisses me off the most is that, I run a small business, and there are a lot of small business owners out there who are doing, really nice right now, compared to what it was like, say in 2015 or 2014 or 2013. And that's because the economy is doing really good, because unemployment's down, because consumer confidence is up, because people have disposable income they can spend on things they otherwise wouldn't spend money on. They don't just have living wage jobs where they have no disposable income, and the only money they have is just enough money to, put a roof over their head, put food on the table, and maybe some new clothes on their back. Nothing to spend extra on. That's the way it was for 8 years from 2008 through 2016. 68% of the jobs created by President Obama were living wage jobs. So he says, oh, I had the numbers too. Yeah, 68% of the jobs created by President Obama were living wage jobs. Living wage jobs. And at the same time that he was creating all these jobs, more people were on food stamps, more people are on welfare, less people own their own house at the end of his administration than at the beginning of it. Area code 775. This is Carl's opinion. You're on with Carl. Wow, at 775, that's actually local. That's pretty close to where I'm at. So, where are you, 775-253? It's like everybody's playing music or something. It's like, I don't know. It's crazy. But, well, 775. Oh, I should have. It's one of those. I got it. It's one of those stupid numbers. Yeah. Okay. I gotta keep an eye out better for that. I gotta keep a better eye out for that. But I tell you, man, I swear Carl, did I trigger the trolls by you? Got to keep in mind you can't out douchebag the great douchebag. I guess Carl, with all of my, let's see, how many subs do I have now? I guess 7 people watching. But let's see, they only have like 135 subs, 130 subs or something. But I guess the truth scares them. I guess they're afraid that this site's going to go to the millions. Actually, we really know that since YouTube shadow bans a lot of conservative sites such as this one, that we know we have more people viewing this right now than what's being listed. We know we have more likes than the 3 likes we have right now. Well, you can take that number and multiply it probably by 100, and that's how many people are viewing. Okay, and as far as subs, they say 130. I know it's probably more like, I don't know, like 13,000. So it's probably 13,000 subs. Probably, I don't know, you know, 600 people watching this right now live, and probably, I don't know, 200 likes. But since YouTube is shadow banning us because we're a conservative site, that's just the way it is. Like I said, I probably have 13,000 subs. But, they sub and then they get unsubs, and, it's the same old thing. But this is a very, we're another phone call coming in. Oh, no. Let's see who this is. 702, you're on the air with Carl's Opinion. This is Carl. Go ahead. Again with the music. Again with the music. I guess they don't like live call-in shows. Again with the music. Amazing. Amazing. Post something in the chat. Say hello. But anyway. Oh my God. That is just too funny. So let's see what we got here. Again, we're getting trolled. You believe that? We're getting trolled. See, I'm telling you, we are popular. This show is popular. It goes out to a lot of people. There's no way we're getting this kind of trolling action if this site is as little as YouTube says it is. Impossible. This site, it just, I'm telling you, this site is big. This is a big site. So, hey, let's just keep it going. So, Carl, I hope one day we see the return of the Blue Dog Democrats. They were the lesser of the two evils of the Democratic Party. Yeah, I agree. I remember the Blue Dog Democrats. They came out. They became famous in the Reagan years. They got tired of all the liberalism. It was right after Jimmy Carter, and but yeah, they're gone. Yeah, there are no such thing as there are definitely no such thing as conservative Democrats anymore. I mean, if you're a conservative, you're the Democratic Party. You've been told to get lost. Another troll with an IQ level of playing hopscotch while drunk on scotch. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, there are no more conservative Democrats anymore. They were run out of the party. There's all kinds of stories about guys like that. And I watched some YouTube channels and I think Tucker there's one conservative Democrat on, and he was like a city councilman or something, and they pretty much ran him out of the city council because he called himself a Democrat, and he had actually what would be normally mainstream values, and he was ran out the door. So that's the Democratic Party right now. It's all about identity politics. It's all about who can play the victim, who's higher on the food chain for victimization. Oh no, let's see who this is. Carl's Opinion. Go ahead.
Hi.
Up. I think that was a real caller. Hey, call back. I think I zapped you off too quick. Sorry about that. I thought you were a troll calling in, so I apologize if you got hung up on. So call back. I know your number, so call. I had the finger on the button ready to zap off a troll, and I just zapped somebody off who I think was actually trying to call in. So, hey, sorry about that. Feel free to call back. Sorry. Oh, that's too funny. But anyway, I had my finger on the trigger, it's like, okay, getting ready to take out the troll, it's like, and it's like, hi, and it's like, click, it's like, oh. Anyway, feel free to call back. Sorry about that. But, okay, let's get to the next story here. Let's just scroll on down. Boom, 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 boom. On radio, they say never leave a silent moment. So that was me making non-silent moment noise. All right, this story I like. Trump to meet with North Korea's Kim Jong-un late next month. Now, this is a story that the mainstream media hates to report about. Again, President Obama, when he was sitting down with President Trump during the transition time from, November, December, early January 2017, November, December 2016, after Trump had won the election, and before he took the oath, when President Obama sat down with him, he told him the biggest problem you're going to have in your administration is going to be North Korea. Another call in. Let's see. Hello, 775 caller. You're on with Carl's Opinion. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Angela from Skype Screening Services with a collect call from Joe Johnson. Will you accept the charges?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Sorry, no collect phone calls. Sorry, this is not the welfare office. If you can't afford to pick up the phone and call, you don't get to call in. This is a conservative Republican site. You must be thinking you're calling Ocasio-Cortez's district. Call Ocasio-Cortez. Tell her you need a free phone call. And tell her everybody else will pay for it. So there you go. But yeah, we don't take collect calls here. I've never even heard of anybody trying to do something like that. I'll be honest with you, I think that was a phony phone call. I don't think somebody was actually trying to call and collect. I mean, that'd be pretty rude if somebody's trying to call somebody. I mean, you're calling into a live call-in show. It's free to watch the show. I don't even have super chat ability for you to super chat. It's not there. So I'm not like, hey, send me some money. And then you're going to call collect. It's like, okay, that makes all the sense in the world. It's like, wow, okay. But anyway, if Joe Johnson, feel free to call back using your own dime, of course. Again, doesn't everybody have a cell phone? I didn't even know people made collect calls anymore. It's like, does somebody have like a hard line somewhere? I don't know. But anyway, it's like I feel like I'm gonna get a call next that says, "Hey, do you have Prince Albert in a can?" And I'm gonna say, "Yeah," and they're gonna say, "Well, you better let him out before he suffocates." But anyway, all right. So here's a good story. I like this one. Again, the mainstream media does not want to cover this story. Kim Jong Un will meet with North Korea's Kim Jong Un late next month. Again, President Obama told him this was the biggest problem you can have in your first term of your administration. First 4 years. Biggest problem is going to be North Korea. How to deal with North Korea. We haven't been able to figure it out. We don't know what to do with this guy. He's got nuclear weapons. He could take out Seoul. He could take out Tokyo. He maybe even take out Guam. Millions of people will be dead. You'll be to blame for it. I don't know how you're going to figure this out because we haven't done shit about it in 8 years. Okay? And Trump goes, oh, okay. And you knew when he was having that conversation with Obama, he was looking at Obama like, you idiot. Like, why haven't you sat down and talked to this guy? Why did you offer to meet with this guy? I mean, look, yep, another troll. No, actually, it was not another troll. It was actually, well, it could have been. I'm not sure if this is true. Could have been a troll, but they said it was a collect call. They wanted to know if I'd accept it. I said no, I would not. So I don't know. But either way, we know this is not the welfare office. We don't take collect calls. But anyway, when Obama was telling him that, biggest problem with North Korea, and I'm sure Trump was thinking, well, did you talk to the guy? Have you got him on the phone? Oh, well, you can't do that. You give him credibility. You talk to the man. Well, he's got 8 or 10 nuclear weapons that could take out 10 million people in Seoul, 10 million people in Tokyo. He has all the credibility he needs. You talking to him isn't going to make him any more credible. His credibility lies in the ability to kill a whole lot of people. To kill, as many people in literally 30 minutes that died in World War II. The Russians lost 20 million. There were 6 million lost in the Holocaust. Say, I don't know, add another 20. I don't know, add another 10. That's 30, 40. Say 40 million people in World War II died. I don't know. I mean, he could just take out Tokyo, Seoul, a couple other places, and kill, tens of millions of people. And Obama wouldn't sit down with them. Because, it's beneath me. No, but he'll sit down with every other loser out there in the world, whether they let him out the back door of a plane or not, one way or the other. So, but he wouldn't sit down and talk to this guy. So Trump's like, well, why don't we just get this guy on the phone? What's his beef? Why is he so upset? Why is he so pissed off? And sure enough, they set up the whole meeting. First, he had to talk tough, to get the guy to the table. Say, I'm going to blow you to hell, and then they had this little back and forth, basically my bombs are better than, my button's bigger than your button, that kind of stuff. And of course, mainstream media, oh, you're going to start a nuclear war. What's he trying to do? Well, because he read this guy. He knew what this guy was about. This guy was going to respond to, oh, can you come talk to us, please? No, that wasn't going to happen. Okay, so he had to kind of be tough with the guy. The guy gave. Now this is what Trump did. A lot of people don't realize this. He talked shit to this guy. But he also gave him permission to talk shit to him. So right away, you got two guys. Now suddenly, Kim doesn't have to feel insecure. Because before it's like the big, big, big United States versus little bitty North Korea. "775, you're on with Carl's Opinion. This is Carl. Go ahead."
We have a try again call from Joe Johnson with a 25-cent payphone cost. Will you accept the charges?
No. Don't call back. Ask me to accept the collect call. 25%. Okay, that's got to be a troll. There's no way. There's no way. That can't be true. That can't be true. That can't be true. There's no such. No such thing as a collect call. I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. Okay, this is crazy. So anyway, anybody who wants to call in having something intelligent to say, I should have put the caveat. Live call-in for intelligent people. There we go. In fact, I'm going to put that on the screen. Watch this. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. All right, so let's do this. Boom. So there's the call-in number, and for intelligent people only. So there you go. Only intelligent people. Only. Oh God, that's just too funny. But okay. Anyway, so there I am. There's a sign, and there you go. That's it right there. For intelligent people only. So if you're stupid, or you're clinically mentally retarded, or clinically an idiot, or even people call you those names a lot. I mean, not just like one or two people, but like everybody calls you those names. Then don't call in because maybe everybody else is right. Maybe it's not just them. Maybe it's you. All right. Well, we're not taking that call. So anyway, too funny, too funny. Alrighty, so let's see. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Anyway, so announcement came after Mr. Trump met in the Oval Office with Kim Young Chol, North Korea's top negotiator, in the denuclearization talks. Wow, there we go. Various press reports have speculated that the summit will be held in Vietnam, but the White House hasn't specified a location. Now, this is the only thing I would do different than Trump is doing. I'd go right to Pyongyang, or whatever the hell the name of the city is, the capital of. All right. So I guess nobody wants to have a live call-in show because they figure they just keep calling, then it'll be like it'll just magically vanish. It's not going to vanish. We're not going anywhere. Sorry, leftist trolls, leftist trolls. You can't shut this up. You can't shut this site down. Wow, we're getting a lot of buzz, and we've only been around for like 2 minutes. That's pretty amazing. But all right. So where are we at now? All right, office with Kim Jong. Okay. Various press reports speculate the summit would be held in Vietnam, but the White House hasn't specified a location. Kevin Martin, president of Peace Action and coordinator of Korea Peace Network, said the announcement bodes well after months of scant visible progress in negotiations between the U.S. and North Korea. The real test of progress is not the announcement of another summit, but whether or not the agreements that come out of the meeting advance the causes of peace and security, he said. If the administration is prepared to abandon its maximalist demand that North Korea entirely denuclearize prior to any concessions from the U.S., real progress becomes much more viable. That is a problem, though. I mean, we need them to denuclearize before Trump is going to start handing them anything. Carl, do you think the Yellow Vest movement is being hijacked by the left? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a tough call on that one because, listen. I think it's kind of a tough call because I think a lot of people on the left were actually down there on the streets participating, with the guys on the right. I don't think it just started off as people on the right, out there. I think you got a lot of people on the left who were against higher taxes. I mean, it's one thing to stand on principle, like, yay, we should all pay higher taxes so we help the people at the bottom. But, whether you're on the left or the right, if you have a family you got to feed, you got to pay that rent or that mortgage payment, and you can't come up with the cash, and you're constantly falling behind, at some point your principles have to give way to your, taking care of your family. I guess you can be the biggest SJW warrior out there in the world, but if you can't put food on the table for your wife and for your children, you might be part of it. Describe you through three-fourths of Ocasio-Cortez's voters. Yeah, see, that's the problem with that election. There was a really low turnout, and because it was such a low turnout, she was able to, by just walking the district and sounding all bubbly and stupid and giggly. Remember, the people who voted for her were people who were just as dumb as she is. So they could relate to her, and they're like, "Hey, look, she's not any smarter than I am, and if I vote for her, that means like I could be a congressperson someday because I'm dumb too." And so she got all the dummies to vote for her. Meanwhile, everybody else was real complacent about going out to the polls. What was his name? Crowley? I can't remember the guy's name. He really didn't run a very good campaign. Really didn't run a tough campaign at all. He actually had a debate with her at the end. He was totally unprepared for the debate. Obviously, had not done any research into who she was, what she was about, what her talking points were. Because if he had done even just some basic research into what she was about, what she was going to say, he would have been prepared for the answers about illegal immigration and health care and social. He would have had really good answers for her, but he didn't. He was playing defense the whole time. I saw part of that debate that they did that was on TV. And he was totally like, and because you could tell he never took her seriously. And because he never took her seriously, he didn't pay attention to what she was saying. Didn't have his staff say, okay, look, mock debates. Okay, she's going to say this, you can say this. You can say this, she's going to say that, you say that. None of that. You could tell there was no preparation for these debates. He just thought, oh, I'm experienced, I'm seasoned, I've been in the Congress for 20 years. I think it was 10-term congressman, and I'm going to wipe the floor with her, not realizing that when you can't debate realistic ideas with a socialist because all their ideas are pie in the sky. She goes, well, we haven't tried it yet. And then if you bring up Venezuela, oh, Venezuela, what about Norway? And they'll bring up some homogenous population center where there's very few people, it's very small, everybody gets along, they've been there for literally centuries, and yeah, that works. Well, it doesn't work in multicultural societies. Socialism. It just doesn't. It just doesn't happen. You get too many people vying for identity politics, especially when they're going for identity politics. Because they've got different groups fighting against each other. For the same pie versus just one group of people. They're not separating into groups, which is why I hate the Democrats so much. I'm kind of like wanting us all to unite and be together, and I don't want us to be divided by identity groups. I want us to be judged as individuals. Well, we all look at each other as an individual, not like it's this group or that group. Because anytime you separate into groups, you're going to start fighting. And if you're trying to do a socialist society and you have different identity groups and they're all fighting amongst each other, well, it's naturally going to form a hierarchy. And then one group is going to be in charge up at the top, and that group is going to benefit their own group to the detriment of all the other groups. And so it wouldn't work in this country. It wouldn't work because who's going to be at top? You know, and if you identify as part of that group more than say as an American, then you're going to be wanting to just take care of your own group and leave everybody else, behind. So it's a situation for disaster in this country. It just wouldn't happen. So that's my personal opinion. Left, just see, great douchebag writes, just like left is trolls can't out douchebag the great, an awesome douchebag, am after all the world's most beloved douchebag. Yes, I would agree on all of that, whatever that means. Yes, awesome. All right, let's get to the next story here. So again, the only thing I would do differently, I'd go right to his capital and meet with him. I think that would give Kim Jong, that would give him a lot of respect around the world, which is something he'd like to have. And Trump would show that, hey man, I'll go to your city. And of course, the spectacle that Kim would put on for Trump. I mean, China did a great job when Trump came out there. Saudi Arabia obviously did a great job when he went out to Saudi Arabia. But Kim would double, triple, quadruple down on all of that, and his reception for Donald Trump would outshine. He'd want it to outshine everybody else's, and so it would just be spectacular. I mean, you have the full military on parade out there. I mean, everything would be polished up, everything would be perfect. I mean, it would be something to see. All right, and this story, I'm glad Trump went to pay tribute to these 4 Americans killed in Syria, but it bothered me because I was watching. I got this story initially from T West with Afro Synergy News. He was talking about it, and he's like, "Why are we still in Syria?" And with the way the mainstream media portrayed this was that, oh, see, it's still not safe. We can't leave. Well, no, no, no. That's not what you get from that story. What you get from the story is like, it's not safe. We shouldn't be there. Let the Russians, let the Iranians, let the Turks take care of these people. If we're not there, trust me, they will come in and they will be brutal and they will take care of these people. They will send them all to hell fast. Okay. The only thing holding the Turks back is the fact that we're sitting there. And we're sitting there, if you think about it, the people who are blowing us up, those are the people who are actually de facto protecting, from the Turks and the Russians and the Iranians. So, the people who were, even though we're not aiming to protect the people who just blew us up, that's who, in effect, we're actually protecting. The people who blew us up. So we need to leave. We don't need to be there anymore. There's no reason to be there. There's no valid reason whatsoever. When Trump has Bolton in that national security advisor, well, okay, ISIS is just pretty much wiped out. Why do we need to be there? There's 1% of them. What's up? And Bolton didn't have an answer. There is no answer. The answer is, well, we just need to project American power. Why? Why in Syria? Is there something there I'm missing that we need, we want? Nothing. There's nothing there. Let Assad, the Russians, the Iranians, and the Turks finish off whoever's left there. We don't need to be losing any more people. I think 2 of these people were soldiers. I'll scroll down the story. President Trump paid tribute Saturday to 4 Americans killed in Syria, attending the dignified transfer service at Dover Air Force Base and meeting with their family members. In a tweet, he described the 4 Americans killed in suicide bombing as very special people who lost their lives in service to our country. As Mr. Trump left the White House, he said to bring home Americans killed overseas was one of the most difficult jobs I've seen. When I'm going to meet relatives of some of our great heroes that have fallen, I think it may be one of the toughest things I have to do as president. The president flew aboard Air Force One. Let's see who's on the phone. Oh no, we'll try it out.
Hello?
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 Yeah,
Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, who's this? Hello?
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah,
Can
what's
you?
up? Yeah, you're on. You're on live.
Yeah. Can you shut up?
Well, he was on live. Well, he was on live. He's not on live anymore. So there you go. I guess this guy doesn't like hearing from me. But hey, man, nobody told you to switch onto this channel. It's really that easy. You don't. Here's the thing. You don't have to tune into this channel. Okay, you can watch something else. I'm sure there's some leftist thing. Oh, and we do not take block phone calls. So if you're calling as an unknown person, you can stay unknown, which means you're probably unimportant. So anyway, if you're an unknown person, it means you're unimportant. You probably have an unimportant life. You probably have a boring life. You might have a job. I doubt you have a career. So probably have little to no education to speak of, and you probably have nothing going on in your life. Probably got no girlfriend, no wife, no woman, no boyfriend, no husband, no nothing. You just sitting around, Saturday night. I'm working, but you're sitting around at probably, I don't know, 12:30 by yourself in your house doing nothing. So I want you to think about that for a second. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, let's see. Hey, Laura, how you doing? Yeah, everybody that called in was a troll. Everybody that called in was a troll. Like 6, 7 phone calls. It was like really crazy. So, But because like I was saying, is like even though it only shows like I have 130 subscribers, I know that number is more like 13,000. But because of shadow banning, and stuff, they suppress the numbers. And I know even though I only have 5 likes on the video, I know there's probably more like 500 likes. And even though it's only showing 8 people watching, probably more like 800 people watching. I just know that. So, you know, but I tell you what, Laura, if you do want to call in, let's see, probably shoot me an email, and then I'll take your call. But yeah, otherwise it's like they're just like blowing up the phone, just amazing. I mean, I got their number, but a lot of them are probably phony numbers though as well. Yeah, amazing. So there you go. All right, so let's go back to the topic. So I was talking about Syria here, and we'll keep talking about that. So let's see. We'll scroll down here. Let's see. The 4 Americans. Let's see here. The 4 Americans, 2 U.S. service members, a military contractor, and the Defense Department of civilian were killed with at least 12 other people in an explosion Wednesday in the Syrian city of Manjib. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the suicide bombing. The Pentagon identified 3 of the 4 Americans killed. One, Army Chief Warrant Officer, I guess second class, Jonathan R. Farmer, 37, of Boynton Beach, Florida, who is based at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Navy Chief Cryptologic, I don't know what that is, cryptologic technician. Interpretive Shannon M. Kent, 35 of Pine Plains, New York, and based at Fort Meade, Maryland. Scott Wirtz, a civilian from St. Louis, and a civilian interpreter from East Point, Georgia, 27-year-olds. TAC raised questions about Mr. Trump's decision last month to begin withdrawing all of 2,000 U.S. troops and ISIS, declaring ISIS defeated. Yeah, see, that's the point. That's what the mainstream media is running with this. It's like, I guess ISIS is defeated because a few guys pulled off a suicide bombing. Well, I mean, we had, we had the Pulse nightclub here in Florida. I mean, how many people were killed on that? Does that mean we have ISIS running around rampant through the country? Does that mean we should invite foreign troops in? Does that mean we should even invite the United States Army in to patrol our streets? No, it doesn't mean that at all. So, see, Trump said the U.S. forces had wiped out about 99% of ISIS-held territory. A true statement. The fight in that region, he said, was doing more to help Russia, Iran, Syria, and Iraq than American interests. At some point, you want to bring our forces home, said Mr. Trump. Exactly. U.S. pullout from Syria began last week with the Pentagon redeploying militia, equipment, but not troops. White House has given mixed signals about the timetable for the complete withdrawal of U.S. troops. Mr. Trump originally indicated a rapid withdrawal, but National Security Advisor John Bolton said it could take months. Months. Why? It's 2,000 guys, depending on circumstances on the ground. It's not going to take months to pull out 2,000 guys. Let's see, who's this? Awesome just came on and wanted to talk about Saudi Arabian arms sales. Hey, let me in. I feel you on this shadow banning stuff. I think to defeat ISIS, we need to stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Honestly. Great douchebag. Yeah, well, I mean, that is an argument as far as, because if, a lot of people believe that a lot of the arms from Saudi Arabia end up in the hands of ISIS. I disagree with that. I don't think they do. I think that might have been the case, but I don't think it's the case anymore. But, that is definitely a discussion worth having. Awesome, AD, I wasn't a troll. Oh, was that you calling it? Well, yeah, but were you the guy calling and telling me to shut up? Was that you? Because if you were telling me to shut up, then, yeah, please pick up my call. Awesome, AD. No, I will not pick up your call. How does that sound? No. Hey, you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. What do you want me to tell you? So, we should discuss this. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we should. Let's see. And the discussion was as follows. Oh, damn. Oh, don't you hate when that happens? Oh, the power of the host. Reminds me of my old moderating days. Zap. So anyway, yes, we should discuss this. I'm sorry. But anyway. Oh no. And another one bites the dust. Oh no. Boy, I like this. I like this little key you get for the host. You can actually zap people off pretty fast. But oh well. What are you gonna do? But anyway, I guess somebody wants to call in really, really, really bad. But anyway, not gonna happen. Not here. Not tonight. All right. So let's get back to the story here. Because I got nothing else to do, but so be it. All right. So let's see. Let's get back to. Oh, here we go. Talking about Women's March releases agenda that blasts pro-Israel legislation. So what do we got here? Progressive group calls anti-boycott, anti-divestment sanctions bills threat to free speech. Basically, you got the boycott, divestment sanctions going on. That's people who want to boycott Israel, divest all investment from Israel, and then impose sanctions on Israel because of the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And so there's actually bills going on right now to basically they're against any kind of boycott. They actually want to, put that on the record, saying, "Look, we are against boycotting, divesting investments, or sanctioning Israel." And so the women's march is saying, "Hey, we're against Israel. We're for the Palestinians. You see the recent people elected in Congress. Here, let me check something out real quick here, real fast. Boom. Okay, let's go back here. All right. See, so basically, you have these women's group which is, as you know, the Women's March in New York City. A lot of anti-Semitic people involved with that, and so you got these bills coming out saying, "Hey, we're against boycotting. We're against divesting any kind of investment. We're against sanctions against Israel." And the Women's March, of course, is against those bills. It's kind of hard to read this article, but you have to realize they're against the anti-boycott bills. And this kind of kicks into another story right behind it here, and you'll see it coming up right now. Conservative gadfly Laura Loomer, that's the one, of course, who went out there with I think it's Will Johnson from Unite America First, went out to Pelosi's place and jumped her little wall with 3 illegal aliens that they grabbed from Home Depot, paid them money to come out there with them. And anyway, so Laura Loomer rushed to stage at the New York City Women's March and calling the leaders Jew haters, which is, I'm glad she used the word Jew haters because if she said, "You're a bunch of anti-Semites," well, a lot of people don't know what the hell that means. But if you actually come out and say Jew hater, you get what it means. And the problem is, there's a lot of anti-Semitism on the left, and you're getting it a lot. I mean, it's really crazy. They're all in favor of Louis Farrakhan. They're all in favor of all the calls, to have Israel wiped off the map and everything. And Laura Loomer is showing up saying, "Hey, you guys are a bunch of Jew haters. I guess if she would have said anti-Semites, it wouldn't have got as much traction. But saying Jew hater, that's actually pretty good." So here's the story. Conservative provocateur Laura Loomer rushed the stage Saturday at the Women's March rally in New York City, commandeered the microphone, and accused the organization of anti-Jewish sentiment before being escorted off by security. "The Women's March does not represent Jewish people," shouted Ms. Loomer, as shown on several videos posted on Twitter. As she was removed from the stage by security officials, Ms. Loomer yelled, "The Women's March hates Jews." Linda Sarsour is a Jew hater. Tamika Mallory is a Jew hater. They're the two people who are running it right now. then there was, and then after that, of course, the unidentified speaker of the microphone urged the crowd to stay positive, saying, I want to hear my Jewish, I want to hear my Jewish family," which was met with cheers and applause. Like, oh no, really, we like Jews. No, they don't. Women's March leaders, including Miss Mallory, Miss Astor, have denied allegations of anti-Semitism stemming apart from their associations with Nation of Islam minister Louis Farrakhan, described by the Anti-Defamation League as America's leading anti-Semite. I mean, yeah. But he doesn't hide it. He doesn't say, he's pro the state of Israel. He comes out right out and says it. I mean, he doesn't you don't have to read between the lines with him. So anybody who's supporting him, who is inviting him to be around them, who's inviting them to their functions, who's going to their functions, and I don't mean just to I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube. Doesn't necessarily mean I support everything that's on there. But if I said, hey, if I came out loud and said, yeah, I support this guy on YouTube, I support what he says, I quote other sites all the time, and I may agree with them on 5 out of 10 things they espouse, but I like to find common ground. But if somebody says, well, do you agree with this particular YouTuber on this issue, and I didn't, I'd say no, I don't. So they asked her, well, do you agree with what he has to say? And the one question she asked was, does Israel have a right to exist? She goes, well, everybody has a right to exist. Well, no, that was her answer. That was, that was a thought-out answer saying, you're going to get asked this question. Okay, here's the answer you got to say. Everybody has a right to exist. No. Does the state of Israel, as a Jewish, run state, have the right to exist? It was set up for Jewish people, by Jewish people, to be run by Jewish people. It is a Jewish religious state. And she was asked, do they have a right to exist? And she said, well, everybody has a right to exist. And she's like, I'm exhausted with this question. Move on. And she's telling the interview, move on. The interviewer was like, no, I'm not going to move on. I want to get an answer on this. Do you, and she refused to. And a lot of people have pulled out of this. In fact, we'll get to the next story here. Let's see, where is it? I thought I had it. Because I had a story, I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't print it out. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she pulled out of being in New York for the Women's March as well. Even though she was either going to be in both Washington and or New York City, she pulled out of the Women's March as well. So let's see who we got here. Laura Sanders. I was saying exactly in response to the intelligent people only comment. But yeah, Debbie Wasserman Schultz also pulled out of the Women's March also. So let me just check something here. So let me get back to, okay, there's me, and let's pull this off. And there's our call-in thing. And let me get to something real quick here. Let's see. All right. Okay, we're back. All right, so let's see. Boom. All right, so anyway, that's pretty much all the topics I had to discuss for tonight. I didn't have anything else I wanted to discuss. Let's see. As far as listening, I called into Anthony Brian Logan's show tonight. I definitely enjoyed that. Let me pull this back up here. Anyway, I enjoyed the call-in show with him. I was participating in the chat room and on O'Shea Jackson's site. I think it was his blogcast site. I think he was on today. I enjoyed that rather well. He had a really good discussion on there. And that's actually a good site. It's part of the Negro Manosphere movement. It's like the Manosphere movement, which was started by a bunch of white guys. This is the Negro Manosphere movement, which was specifically targeted towards black male empowerment, that kind of stuff. And he has a lot of great topics. He has a show called The Rumble. It's on Sundays at 2 p.m. Western time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, or whenever it begins. But generally not before 2 o'clock, and that's always a good show. He generally has a pretty good panel, about 6 or 8 people on there. He'll have one guest who'll start off the show, do an interview for about 45 minutes, and then he'll bring the rest of the panel on to discuss the topics. Definitely worth checking out. I try to watch it every Sunday. You know, a lot of times I'm working, so I'll have to catch it after the fact. You know, that night. You know, not live, but catch it like when it gets uploaded to YouTube. So if you're around, just probably maybe check that out tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll probably put up another video tomorrow as well, another live video, and then this one will be uploaded. So let's see. We're gonna cut away with some music here. Well, first let's do this. Let's see. Leave it this headline. All right, so let's go ahead and take down the title here, and we're gonna swing back over to here, and then I'm gonna end you guys with some music to listen to. And I just want to thank everybody who's watching on the live chat. I want to thank everybody who participated in the chat room. I want to thank everybody who called in, even the phony phone calls. And yeah, we don't take any block calls. And again, the call-in number, as you see there, for intelligent people only. So, but if you like the video, put a like on it. And if you want, feel free to subscribe. Anyway, this is Carl for Carl's Opinion. I just want to say thank you very much for everybody tonight, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.